and welcome to Sensational South. I'm Harish Upadhyay. Over the next 30 minutes, we bring you all the major news and newsmakers from across South India. Our top story today comes from Karnataka. The new Congress government's 5 guarantees are under the scanner. This after the government decided to divert 11,000 crore rupees from the SC/ST sub-plan to fund these guarantees. On the other hand, documents exclusively accessed by CNN News18 shows that the Finance Department in fact had severe objections to the Grihalakshmi scheme. The Prime Minister too has said this will impact growth. So what's the way forward? Can these schemes be funded for the next 5 years? We'll debate that, but first the story.
The 5 major guarantees of the Congress party which propelled it into a majority in Karnataka Assembly elections is now pushing the Congress government into a spot of bother. Documents accessed by CNN News 18 shows Finance Department red flagging Grihalakshmi scheme over the impact it will have on the state's fiscal situation. The department opined that such an enormous amount of money can't be set aside every year. The government bulldozed all the objections of the department to launch the scheme. But what has increased the heat of the government is its decision to divert 11,000 crores from the SC/ST sub-plan to fund guarantees, raising serious questions about welfare schemes for the SC and ST communities getting affected. But the government tried to justify, arguing that the several beneficiaries of these schemes are from the SC and ST communities.
SCPಗೆ 7,715 SCPಗೆ 3,430 ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಒಟ್ಟು 11,000 ಕೊಟ್ಟು SCPTS ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಇದು ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಓವರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಅಬೌವ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಸಿಎಂ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ಗಿವ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ದಿ ಮನಿ ಟು ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ವೆಲ್ಫೇರ್ ಅಂತ ಗಿವ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ದಿ ಮನಿ ಟು ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ವೆಲ್ಫೇರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಹೌದು, ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ.
The Prime Minister opened a new front by attacking the Congress for derailing growth to fund their poll promises.
ये जरूरी था कि इस समय बेंगलुरु का, कर्नाटका का तेजी से विकास हो, लेकिन वहां जिस प्रकार की घोषणाएं करके सरकार बनाई गई, उसके दुष्परिणाम इतने कम समय में आज पूरा देश देख रहा है और चिंता अनुभव कर रहा है.
Just a day before meeting the Prime Minister, Chief Minister Siddaramaiah responded to the Prime Minister questioning if 1.25 lakh crores that the Union government is spending on schemes like PM Kisan is also a freebie. Opposition by its own finance department and grants being cut down for several projects has made people wonder whether the government can continue all the 5 guarantees for a full 5-year term. With Harish Upadhyay, this is Ashra Kannan from CNN News 18.
To debate this, we have an eminent panel joining us today. We have Mr. Vikas Puttur, the spokesperson of the BJP. We have Mr. Sanket Enagi, the spokesperson of the Congress party. We have senior journalist Mr. Ramkrishna Upadhyay joining us. I'll come to you, Mr. Vikas Puttur, first. The Prime Minister has made certain observations about these guarantees. The Congress government is saying that we are implementing it. Can the BJP come out openly and say that they are against these guarantees, whether they call it freebies or guarantees? How does the BJP respond to this?
Harish, hi, good evening. The first thing is it is a well-realized fact today that the Indian National Congress, which is led by the disqualified and convicted Member of Parliament Rahul Gandhi and his bandwagon, has converted our state, Karnataka, into an ATM to fund their fantasies of the 2024 elections. The Siddaramaiah-led government in Karnataka, which came to power promising around irrational, unrealistic and unimplementable guarantees, is now trying to fill the coffers of its master only. Now, they are doing this, which these guarantees which they are promised, this is basically unrealistic. So now what they are trying to do here in the name of guarantees is this cannot be accepted. Today, what they are doing, they are trying to divert the funds. They have already cancelled more than 10 to 12 people-friendly schemes, that which the earlier BJP, our government had introduced in Karnataka. So this is very unfortunate that we have such a government. Okay. This is the anti-Dalit government. This is the anti-Hindu government. This is the anti-progressive government that Siddaramaiah ji is leading in Karnataka.
Okay.
I'm telling you,
I want to bring in Mr. Sanket Enegi here.
These people
Mr.
are trying to
Enegi,
market
I'll go point by point.
failed model
The
of
first
government
one is about
all across
Gruhalakshmi.
India, but unfortunately, this is the model.
Okay.
This is the model.
Okay,
That
I'll go to
cannot
Mr.
be
Sanket Enegi.
followed anymore.
Mr. Enegi, quickly come in. Now, this finance department objection says this enormous funding cannot go on forever. They are referring to 32,000 crore rupees that has been allocated for the Gruhalakshmi scheme. When department experts are saying this, people within the finance department, how is the Congress party confident that they can continue to fund this for the next 5 years?
Firstly, before answering this question, I need to say something about the Prime Minister ridiculing this promise of the guarantee of the Congress government. In 2019, and no word about it, about creating of the jobs, unemployment, or increasing other facilities to the people. And I wonder as to how the Prime Minister would have any face to face the people. And I am surprised that Prime Minister has stooped to this level without seeing himself in the mirror talking about other political parties. I think he has become issueless about the development. And it is unfortunate that a person like a Prime Minister, he is misusing his position or undermining the dignity and decorum of that office. And coming to the other point,
sir, that is politics. But what about the observations of the finance department officials, sir?
Yes, about the financial status of the state, what the finance secretary has said is, look, the BJP, what it means and says is, look, BJP has already emptied the treasury and has not received the GST amount. There is no much fund available. What they have done in all the 4 to 5 years is nonsense in the state of Karnataka. Played dirty politics or the criminal politics, no fundraising, no revenue at all. Never concentrated on the developmental activities or the revenue generation activities. And no cash flow in the state of Karnataka. So you please see to it that somehow you need to arrange some other fund. That is what it means. He might not have said it specifically.
Okay, that's how you read it.
On the floor, but the Chief Minister on the floor of the House has clarified each and every aspect how the BJP has done the indiscipline in financial management of the state. And nobody has controverted it.
Okay, I'll bring in Mr. Ramkrishna Upadhyay here.
Today, 1 minute.
Mr. Upadhyay, how do you see the observations of the finance department here? They are saying they can't fund 32,000 crores every year. They are also worried about the fiscal discipline of the state. They wanted certain conditions. The government hasn't really accepted that.
Harish, before going to finance department's warning to the state government, I would like to tell our Congress spokesperson that actually the GST collection from Karnataka is among the highest in the country. In fact, the January 2023 figures shows 65,000 crores have been collected in Karnataka, which is 18% more than what it was the previous year. So he should know that the GST collection is not to be blamed at all. He should know that the central funds are not to be blamed at all. So I think we should concentrate on what these freebies are and what it is doing to the state's budget. The finance department very clearly flagged that this Gruhalakshmi scheme is going to ruin the finances of the states. In one of the letters to the Department of Women and Child Welfare, it very clearly states the scheme would result in substantial recurring liability and would necessitate significant reductions in the budgetary provisions across all departments and accounts. This is what they've said. And further, they go on to say it is not possible to provide such an enormous amount of funding every financial year. So this is what the finance department says. And I think this warning is writing on the wall is very clear that even before the scheme has been launched, the finance department has said this is going to be most difficult. In the budget itself, the finance minister, Mr. Siddaramaiah, has provided about 42,000 crores. But the budgetary provision requirement is about 62,000 crores. So where is the rest of the money going to come from? and he has already increased the taxes, 20% hike in excise duty on liquor, 10% on beer, and additional taxes on transport and property taxes. All these have gone up. And in spite of all that, it is not enough.
But
And
despite
Karnataka is facing a financial ruin.
Absolutely.
Let me
They are
tell
not
you,
bringing in
Karnataka
windfall
is
gains
facing-
as such. In fact, I want to bring in the other major discussion point here. 11,000 crore rupees diverted from the SC/ST sub-plan. Mr. Sanket Enagi, the Congress party in its manifesto said that they will bring in laws to ensure that money meant for SC/ST community is not diverted. Remember, there was a huge controversy of how the BJP was using SC/ST sub-plan money as deemed expenditure. The Congress promised that it would set it right. But isn't the Congress doing the same thing now? 11,000 crore rupees, sir. That's almost 1/3 of the budget that's been set aside for the SC/ST welfare.
In my opinion, there is a difference or distinction between the terminology, diversion, and the rearrangement. I would call it as a rearrangement. When the fund allocated to the SC/ST people has been used for a specific purpose, for a specific period, and again it would be given back by the government once the revenue is generated. We have already adopted and already under the process of implementation of the financial schemes wherein the revenue could be generated for the government to meet out all the promises or to fulfill all the promises over the period of 5 years. Out of those promises, 5 guarantees are part of it. Not all the amount being spent on the 5 guarantees. There are other guarantees also, more than 650 promises which you have made. Everything would be taken care of. But the situation as of now is, because of the financial indiscipline of the previous government, much fund has not been generated. And we have come to power only 2 months ago. And much fund is not available in the treasury. And till the time, we would be utilizing.
Do you accept that this will hit welfare of SC/ST communities now?
No, we have to do that. It is our mandate.
Mr. Enagi, do you accept this will hit welfare of SC/ST communities?
No, it is not. There is a difference that it has been diverted. It is not. In my opinion, it is only a financial arrangement and the rearrangement. We have already clarified on it. And once the revenue is generated,
Mr. Upadhyay, the BJP called it deemed expenditure. The Congress says it's just rearrangement. But ultimately, the money that's meant for SC/ST welfare will go down.
Absolutely, it's very clear. They're just taken away from that account and spent it on this freebies, and even that is not enough. Look at the kind of expenditure that is involved in each and every account. Now, on the Shakti scheme, which is the first one to be implemented, that is free bus service for women. Already, the KSRTC and other transport corporations have spent 250 crores in 0.96 crores in the first month. Now, what is the compensation the government has given? 125 crores. Now, how will the corporations manage? God alone knows. Or you take the next one, that is the Griha Jyoti. Now, it has just been rolled out. And in the budgetary allocation, it's only 15,498 crores. But I'm sure it's going to be much, much more. So that is why the finance department is saying, please cut down this expenditure. We can't afford it. We can't afford it. So that is the message the finance department is giving.
Okay.
And I think this government is bent upon spending this amount of money till the Lok Sabha elections. Their target is the Lok Sabha elections.
Yes, what happens after that is a bigger question. In fact, one question that I want to take to BJP, Mr. Vikas Putur, is the BJP doing double speak here?
Harish,
is the BJP against these guarantees? Why is the BJP not coming out and saying that? Is the BJP worried about states' fiscal discipline? Do they want these guarantees to be implemented? What is the stance of the BJP?
Harish, let me answer the question first. It is very hypocritical of Congress. They have accepted, they're agreeing that they're justifying their act, saying that it's okay to divert funds. This is highly hypocritical, because during the time of COVID, BJP, our government tried to use the same funds for during the time of COVID, we were trying to use these funds for the health infrastructure. At that time, this very Congress, this very Sidramaya and other MLAs, they opposed it. So today they are justifying this act, saying that this is not diverting, but that they are giving some other fancy names.
In fact, we are absolutely out of time on this debate. Unfortunately, we will have to wrap it up. But this particular discussion around the funding of these guarantees will continue in the run-up to the Lok Sabha election and how the Congress funds it post the Lok Sabha election. Well, that's as far as this debate is concerned. We would like to thank all our panelists today. On the other side, we'll get your exclusive interview from another part of South India.